Hungry feeding more than stomachs. Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice, to share your food with the hungry, and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? Isaiah 58, 6-7. Hunger is more than physical. Our sons hunger for identity, affirmation, and purpose. Isaiah 58 reminds us that true worship isn't just ritual, it's relational. It's feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and standing in the gap for the vulnerable. As fathers, we must teach our sons that Christ-like manhood means seeing the needs of others and responding with compassion. It means fasting from selfishness and feasting on service. When we normalize conversations about emotional and spiritual hunger, we give our sons permission to name their own needs and to meet the needs of others. Angry, breaking the cycle with grace. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Ephesians 6:4. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Matthew 5:9. Anger is often a mask for pain. The ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, research shows how trauma, neglect, and instability can shape a child's emotional world. But Scripture calls fathers to be peacemakers, not peacekeepers. We don't ignore anger, we guide it. Jesus didn't shame people for their emotions. He redirected them toward healing. As fathers, we must model emotional literacy. We must teach our sons that anger isn't evil, but unmanaged anger is destructive. Christ-like men don't suppress their rage. They surrender it to God and seek reconciliation. Lonely, known, not forgotten. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. Psalm 25:16. God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing. Psalm 68:6. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling unseen. Many sons carry silent burdens, unsure if anyone truly understands them. David cried out in his isolation, and God responded not with shame, but with presence. As fathers, we must teach our sons that loneliness is not a sign of failure. It's a signal to seek connection. Psalm 68 reminds us that God places the lonely in families. That means we, as fathers and mentors, are part of God's answer. We must be intentional about creating spaces of belonging where our sons feel safe to speak, struggle, and be known. Christ-like men don't ignore loneliness. They respond with empathy, presence, and community. Tired, rest is holy. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. Exodus 29:10. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Mark 2:27. Fatigue is more than physical, it's spiritual. Our sons are growing up in a culture that glorifies hustle and mocks rest. But Scripture teaches that rest is not laziness, it's obedience. Jesus invited the weary to come to him, not just for sleep, but for soul restoration. The Sabbath was God's idea, not to restrict us, but to renew us. As fathers, we must model rhythms of rest. We must show our sons that Christ-like men know when to pause, reflect, and recharge. That rest is not weakness, it's worship. Teach your sons that their worth isn't in constant productivity. It's in being rooted in God's presence, even when the world says go. Fathers, your voice matters. Your presence matters. Your example matters. When you speak this boldly about hunger, Isaiah 58 and Matthew 5-6 with your son or mentee, you give your sons a roadmap for emotional and spiritual maturity. Christ-like in a world that's hurting? Let's raise sons who are not just hungry, angry, but surrendered, lonely, not just successful, but how can we respond with grace, not just busy, truth, and but balanced?